All right, let's talk business cards. I told you that we would talk about options to help make business cards a bit cheaper. So we do have the typical, paper business card. Now, these are a bit nicer than normal. If you can see that sheen on there we go. So these are glossed. These are my boyfriend's Shine Storm Ceramics. He got these off of Moo. Highly recommend. You get to order a sample pack. It doesn't have any of your stuff on it, but a sample pack that gives you the different options. Like it shows ones that are the rounded edges, the squared off edges. They have matte. They have like super smooth cards. They have flyers. It's just a sample pack for you to see what different options there are. And I think we only paid for the shipping. It was definitely worth it. The other cool thing was he could have done, I don't know if it included the front, but on the back side, he could have done this. Every single card could have been a different photo. That's wild because that was just one batch. So it wasn't like multiple batches of cards. So that's a super cool feature. So these are Moo, not sponsored or affiliated. I like them. They're nice. They're pretty on par with the other options for cards. Now, the option that we're going to go into helps you minimize how many of these that you need to purchase. But I do recommend having some of these on hand still because your elder generation, they're still going to want the tangible card. That is the time that they grew up in. And then some of your neurodivergent folks like myself, we're going to want the card because we also like that tangible item, which may be where you look into those more pricey options with the different textures. There's one, I can't remember what it's called, but it's super smooth and I love the card. It's fun. You can also get like raised water droplets on these. They're pretty cool. But also, again, for your super basic business card, I believe it's $20 for a pack of 50. Or the ones I was considering, they're like half this size, but I think it's a pack of 100 for $20. Which is cool if you have two different businesses or if you want two different styles of business cards. So I feel like that's fairly affordable considering, in comparison to other companies. And then also rural areas. Sorry, my brain trailed off there. People who are in rural areas where there's not so much hustle and bustle, they're also going to be of that tangible card mind. So I don't recommend ditching these altogether. Definitely have some of these still, but we're going to minimize the price on these, talking about the next set of cards, and Editing Live is going to poorly transition here. My personal favorite is Dot. So this is a Dot bracelet and I have a Dot card. Now this is the smaller version. I wanted the small one for my wallet. They do have a regular wallet size one and my boyfriend does have one for his business. But this is what I asked for his business, so that I can advertise for him as well. So what this is a digital business card. It's permanent. You don't hand these out. This stays with you. And it is NFC activated. So we've got my cell phone here. I'm going to tap it on the back. And it's going to bring up his business profile. So this shows you his website, his business number, his email address, his Cash App. It allows you to put different things in here. It's really up to you on which different types you select. The person can download you as a contact. So that means this is ending up in their phone. It's not just something that we're gonna put in our wallet or toss away when we get home. This is actually in our phone. So that part's handy. Now the part that I really like about this is this one. It says exchange contact. So this gives you a name field, a phone number. They don't have to put in their phone number, but you do want to collect the name and the email. That's going to be great for list building. We'll talk about that in a separate video, but that is one of my favorite functions about this, is you can actually exchange that info and start building your email list that way. Now, the downside to that is the free version of this, so you don't have to pay for the service in order to use these. They do allow you to have that free profile with all of those things on there, but there is a pro version. I don't know how much it is, but the downside is for the email capture. So the email capture, I don't know what the limit is, but you'd have to go in, extract the emails that you have captured, put those on a list because you own that email list, and then delete, well, I guess it just deletes them automatically, but make sure you're capturing those somewhere, because it's gonna automatically delete as you take so many captures. That is a downside. However, having that profile like that and just the function of being able to exchange that email is pretty awesome. So not everyone's going to be familiar with using that, so you will have to walk them through doing that email exchange, and you want them to download your contact as well. But that's just, it's awesome. Everything is right there. They can click here at the website. It's going to take you to that website. You can also put a photo there. So let's take a look at my bracelet. So again, we're on my main screen. Pop that on the back, and there we go. So I've got my little photo, the banner photo, and then I have different links. So I've got my website, my YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, email, Instagram. I have Venmo. So you can, within the settings of your profile, you can pick which links that you want in there. But same thing, hit the exchange, put in the info, and then hit exchange down here. So I believe this is very handy, and it gives you a permanent business card. I love this because I don't have to dig around in my wallet. I can just put this on. Takes just a moment. All right. So I tap here. Now, the thing about this though, that I do recommend is make sure you get the ones that have the QR codes on it. The reason for that is they do have little dots that can go on the back of your phone. They don't have QR codes, and you have to be careful of the placement because Android has the NFC up here, and the iPhone, I think it's like on the side or down at the bottom. So if it's on your phone and it's trying to read this thing with another phone, you may have issues, and that's a known problem. So I do highly recommend getting one that you don't stick on your phone. Actually sidetracked from what I was trying to tell you. So one that you don't stick on your phone. These ones activate, then stick. So I can actually stick this on my phone, but I don't want to. I just keep it in my wallet. My real point actually though was QR code. Make sure they get the QR code, because if someone doesn't have the NFC setting activated in their phone, then that tap on the back is not going to work. So instead, if that doesn't work, we're going to hold up our, let's see, QR code. This is not easy to do at the same time. All right, and you see it just popped up there. And then it pulls up my thing. So that way, if you have someone who doesn't have that activated, you can still utilize your DOT device. So highly recommend one with a QR code on it for sure. Also, I don't know if you can tell online, I would try to get the style where the QR code on the bracelet is on the outside when you snap it. For some reason, my boyfriend's is tucked on the inside of it, which does not make sense. So I would keep a note for that. And then these items, these were $30 each. I think originally when we purchased the cards were only $20. They are $30 now, but that is very reasonable for a permanent card that you use over and over and over again, rather than consistently spending $20 at a time on, say, 50 to 100 business cards, depending on what you're getting. So I think that's pretty reasonable. You can also get these on Amazon so that you can get, utilize the free shipping if you have Prime. Let me see, I'm making sure I went over everything because I forget things. Oh, one last thing is, are there other companies who do this? Yes. The most known, aside from DOT, is called Popl. I don't recommend them unless they've changed their business structure on how they do this, because if I go on to Dot and I order, say, a 3-pack of these, each of the cards has their own unique QR code. That means that I can buy a multi-pack, I can take one and set it up with my business profile, and then my boyfriend can take one and set it up with his business profile. It doesn't limit you to using the cards for just one business profile, which is also handy if you have multiple businesses of your own. And I also believe, again, unless they've changed their business model, Popl actually forces you to use the subscription. So that's very different to Dot, where you can go ahead and have that main profile that I showed you, plus have separate unique QR codes for every device that you purchase. Because they have packs of these things. They have like I want to say there's like a 10-pack or something like that, so that if you have a company, you can give one to each of your employees so they can use it. If you have friends and family who support you, you could give them one so that they can say, hey, yeah, I got this person who does this, and they can just tap for your business card. So definitely recommend Dot and Moo. I am not affiliated or sponsored. I just really, really love Dot. Like, I think it's a cool thing. Definitely handy for on-the-go business coordinating, especially for vendor events. If you do vendor events, you're going to run out of business cards. So it's great to have this handy so that can be your backup. And you can just hand out cards. You can give people an option. Be like, do you want an electronic version or a physical card? And then Moo's just fun. It's fun options that they have with all the different textures, and I don't know if other companies do that. They probably do, but we had really great experience with Moo, so I'm gonna just stick with it. It works. If it's not broke, don't fix it. So yeah, we've got Dot, we've got Moo. I'll put links in the description below, and a future video we'll talk about the email list building. I'll see you guys in the next one.